spend my life on the move, my life on the road, town to town, city to city, time zone to time zone. Success keeps you busy, so I can't complain how life is, but in a life like this you tend to develop some vices. My wife is my life and I'd never cheat on her, but there are one or two things that I do keep from her. I have my addictions, or rather my addictions have me. Sometimes the shadow of my shadow is all I can be. I find myself alone in different hotel rooms, just me, my thoughts and that milk-stained moon. I'm drawn to walk the streets as my heart rate rises. A heavy coat, a scarf, a hat all become my disguises. I've made it known that I suffer from nosebleeds and migraines to explain the occasional mood swings and blood stains. There's over 1,000 people murdered in this world each day, so as I drift from town to town, nobody looks my way. It's an addiction and I ain't proud of it, but the power that you feel, there's no cloud in it. The fear before the fact, as they know something's wrong. Their vain attempt to scream, their muffled swan song. The struggle, the shock in their eyes, my grip around their throat as all their hope dies. That sudden loss of breath, there is no thrill equal. My name is Johnny Depp and I kill people.
The fear, the scream, the struggle, the shock, the fear, the scream, the struggle, the shock, the fear, the scream, the struggle, the shock, the fear, the scream, the struggle, the shock.
I want to talk about this album that came out recently, probably last month. It's called Distraction Pieces. The artist is Scroobius Pip. Many people may know him from Dan le Sac versus Scroobius Pip. That's how I first heard about him. And I really, I think he deserves a lot more. Obviously, it's like one of my. He is one of my favorite artists. I consider him a true artist, right? Dedicated to his craft. He develops it, and I see. There is a difference between this album and his very first solo album. I think it was called No Commercial Breaks. There is a progression in the. I don't want to say the skill in the writing, because the writing's always been pretty good. It's always been amazing. Like he made this in his solo album, his first solo album. He made this one called 1,000 Words, and it had this really nice, this real interesting story, all contained within 1,000 words. It's not super. Whatever. Fuck it. It's a good song. 1,000 Words. I would recommend you checking that out. It's on YouTube or buy and support the guy. I don't know if it's on iTunes or anything. You know what? Actually, I think that's one of the ones you have to get on a torrent. I'm not. Yeah. I don't. I think he's. I'm not sure. I don't want to say that he's like all for that. I mean, he would prefer you buy his stuff, but I think that's one of his limited releases, and it's not really. It's not out there. So the only way I think you could get that is through a torrent. So check that out and buy like a t-shirt or something. Or see him live if you can. I'm here in the States, so I seen him once. I seen him once. Him and Dan le Sac. Shook Dan le Sac's hand. That was that was nice. But yeah, we're talking about Distraction Pieces, and it's probably, there is a little more for those familiar with like B. Dolan and Sage Francis. It does feel a little more like on their kind of they're kind of, I don't know how you'd say, but it's a little angrier, right? I mean, it's not angry, I would say, but just like the tempo and the vibe and everything. It just seems a little. There's a little more angst in there, right? But it's really awesome, and he's one of the few guys who I enjoy listening to, for the beats, and then also lyrics, right? Lyrical content, miracle content, right? I think that's one of his phrases. So I'm just gonna play one of his songs because I don't really know how to express how much I like this. So I'm just gonna say that I hope to smile is enough to say that, hey man, I really like this, and I'm gonna play a bit of this, probably the struggle, maybe the video. I might play the video, and I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you check it out, and I'll put a link to to where you can get it. All right, bye.
This is to anyone out there that's listening. From everyone that ever let you down and went missing. Lovers, parents, best friends and siblings. Sometimes life conspires to make liars of good men. This is to anyone out there that's listening. From everyone that ever let you down and went missing. Lovers, parents, best friends and siblings. Sometimes life conspires to make liars of good men. I'm sorry I wasn't who you thought I was. Fuck it, I'm sorry I wasn't who I thought I was. I said no matter what, I'd always be there, but that wasn't honest, because I'm not, and because that ain't how life goes. Broken promise. Growing up, I always thought I was one of the good guys. I thought it was black and white like that I could nurture my good side. But I've caused hurt and I've stripped pride, both on the surface and inside. I wasn't cursed with a dark side, I was just normal. Average, regular, nothing special, I'm telling ya. Just being human makes you both God and the devil's clear replica. I've had my emotions crushed and maybe crushed a few along the way. And at the time, I meant every single word I would say. Every word of love and every word of hate. Every time I would adore and every time I'd berate. But time passes and sometimes those emotions fade, making lies of both the threats and the promises made. But is a lie really a lie if you mean it at the time? How can a lie be a lie if you mean it at the time? A lie can't be a lie if you mean it at the time. How can a lie be a lie if you mean it? This is to anyone out there that's listening. This is to anyone out there that's still breathing. I bought the Heartbreak Hotel on my own with no investors. Closed it down and opened the fuck you, get over it bed and breakfast. In loving memory of having loving memories, of combustible emotions and of having real enemies. Typically poetically dramatic endings were once a trademark of mine, patents pending. And the mighty height of emotion on parting ways was always grander than the connections of the early days. When we were fighting, there used to be thunder and lightning, ferociously frightening, a clash of the titans, emotions heightened, every single muscle tightened, an addiction to the thrill of the fight, the excitement. Love at first sight always seemed unconsidered. I'd rather love at first fight and then on to double figures. An unconditional love, well, that just means nothing. In love with the mere idea of loving something. Always just hunting for that near-life experience, in fear of missing something vital from your own existence. All your emotions subconsciously thought out and scripted. Less about how you're feeling, more about how you fucking depict it. But all that stops when one day you just decide to stop playing along. That point in time when the most amazing things in the world can just as easily seem pedestrian. You've lost both that loving and that loathing feeling. Turns out hell does have a bottom and heaven a ceiling. Both love and hate become opaque in time's wake. A face that once summoned rage now summons nothing. Whether it's emotions tethered, nerve endings severed, or just the outlook you acquire when you're a little more weathered. Remaining conscious of this all, and in a way feeling above it. It still feels like bad riddance to good rubbish, but is a lie really a lie if you mean it at the time? How can a lie be a lie if you mean it?